All right, welcome back. It's that time where we dive straight into the conversation segment on the show. And what are we looking at? We're looking at the need to build digital and knowledge economy in a growing and global community. It is no longer news that indeed the world, the entire globe is going digital. Even the Central Bank of Nigeria have come to realize the fact that even the payment system should begin to fall in line with some global trend. We have Samson Olatunde, who is the CEO, Knowledge Digest Africa, to bring some sense, make some sense of this conversation for us, the need for us to begin to equip ourselves in line with global digitization trend. Samson, it's so good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for waiting all through the program. Let's begin the conversation this way. Where are we as a country? Where are we as a people in terms of falling in line with the global trend in digitization, looking at the entire ecosystem? Where are we as a country?
The reality is that we are far behind, and the government is not really helping out. We're just having more of individual or private sector trying to do more things to make things happen in this part of the world, especially in Nigeria. I think if you look at the statistics very well, many of the tech folk guys who are doing having a lot of initiatives, they have more of investors coming from outside the country, which is not too good for us because we believe that we have the resources in this country that can power many of these tech ideas to make things happen. Now, if you look at it from even the educational sector, it's really bad. You have HASU on strike. I mean, for a number of months now, I mean, government not listening to them. Many of these students are at home. Many of them don't even know what they want to do next. Let's look at our curriculum. I mean, imagine if you're in Nigeria and you score primary, secondary, and higher institution, you would have done 16 years in acquiring formal education. 6 years primary school, 6 years secondary school. And then you have 4 years to study and get
minus
your
ASU strike.
Minus ASU strike. Then you 1 year to go for NYSC. 17 years of acquiring formal education only gives you 15% skill sets, which means that you can achieve success in life with 15% skill set. You need the other 85% skill set. And how do you get that? Via informal knowledge. And that's why, the Knowledge Digest Africa conference, we needed to put it together because we felt that many people need to understand mentorship, volunteering, learning from reading books, learning from getting access to different knowledge on different platforms where you can actually learn more. So many things that has happened to us in this part of the world, I think more people have taken advantage of informal knowledge. Many of the universities don't even have access to portal where people can learn. Even when there's break, when there's this ASU strike, many don't have access to materials. Tutorials are not going on. So how do we begin to allow government, private institutes, think around putting this together to help as many people? I mean, if I go to different sectors, you realize that we are still really far behind. In terms of even, let's talk about the technology. I mean, so many of us are still struggling with our internet access. The broadband are not working perfectly. We even have more private sectors coming in to provide all of these facilities for us, as against you getting into a mall and have access to Wi-Fi. It's not possible in this part of the world. Get into a banking sector, you can get access to a free Wi-Fi. I mean, so you have to just use your own personal Wi-Fi. What that means is that many things that is supposed to have been done by government, many infrastructures are not in place, many things are not going on. Well, look at electricity, for instance. I mean, we're still struggling with prepaid meters. I mean, these are digitalization that is happening in the part of the world. So when you talk about the knowledge economy, we are still far behind as an organization, as an institute, as a country. In Nigeria, we are still far behind.
You just painted a very uninteresting picture of where we are and where we are supposed to be. I'm happy you went into the education sector as a case study. I was at an event yesterday where we're dissecting the need to begin to remodel the education sector in line with the 21st century realities. And part of the concerns that were raised was the curriculum you talked about. And so let's narrow it this way. Are you saying that in line with the current digital trend, we should begin to inculcate digital technology, knowledge sharing even in the university secondary school curriculum?
I mean,
would that be a way to go?
It's not just about the secondary. It's not just about the university. Starting from even the secondary school. I mean, ideally, we should have a module that helps people understand the business side of their passion. So, how do you even discover who you are? You are a speaker. You know how to write. First, we should have a curriculum that helps people from the grassroots and develop people to understand, oh, this is my strength. How do I groom it? How do I begin to make money from it? Now, there's a part of even having a curriculum about digital skills, because the world is going beyond the norm. We're in the knowledge economy. So there's a need for you to even understand how to use the system. I mean, we should go away from using Blackboard. I mean, some schools will still use Blackboard as against using a technological board. Many people still use whiteboard as against you having people to even have access to tabs. So how can we have, even from the secondary school, you understanding how to use some technologies? It can even be from your phone. Assignment is submitted online. I mean, by the time you're used to all of that, what that means is that by the time you get to the higher institutions, it makes it more easier for you. You know that you may not even be in the classroom, the four walls of the classroom, but you are in class. Why? Because you have access to videos. Many of our lecturers need to be trained. Many of the teachers need to be trained. Many of them don't even know how to sit and have a curriculum done, have a presentation done. So there's a need for us to begin to think about presentation skills, think about business skills, think about you discovering your passion, think about the monetization of what you know how to do. Think about the digital skills that people need to learn. So as it is now, many of the things you are learning in school is not relevant in the global community, because we are still in the growing community. So for instance, you are talking about people learning artificial intelligence, data management. When you look at where we are and you look at an average Nigerian competing, I mean, what has really helped an average Nigerian is because they've gone beyond the normal 4 walls of the university to really learn how these things are done via formal knowledge. And that's why many of us can still compete, not depending on what you've learned in school. For instance, I did biz admin in school, right? And I've never used my certificate to work, because when I was in school, I was learning everything that has to do with digital skills and all of that. And now I've over 15 years now, making money from me just understanding how to use digital skills to help people amplify, scale up what they are doing without me leveraging on what I've learned 17 years. So what that means is that the curriculum is not up to date, is outdated. Let me put it that way. It's not helping what is happening in the global community for us to be able to compete well and achieve a lot of results. If you look at our tech guys, one of the things you realize is that we are blessed in this part of the world. I think I tell people, if you're successful in Nigeria, you can be successful anywhere in the world. I mean, we've gone beyond just the normal classroom for many smart guys to learn what it takes for them to compete in the global economy. And that's why you see many investors coming to look for Nigerians that they want to invest into their idea. That's because we have what it takes to create a lot of solutions out there in the global market.
You know, part of the conversation we had a couple of days back had to do with the fact that we have seen young Nigerians that are competing right now, and we use the word that they are self-made. They tutor themselves without the 4 walls of the university education. So do we begin to move attention away from the university, the 4 walls, the BSc, the BA? Do we begin to move conversation away from that to skills acquisition, and digital knowledge?
Honestly, that's the way I think we need to go now, because even your certificate you get from the university are not relevant in the global economy. In some places, they ignore our university certificates, right? But they prefer the certifications that you get from all over on different online platforms. So for instance, a Google certification and a hotspot the certification will be more accepted than you having a BSc to say you did computer science, right? So what that means is that they know that you would have gone through some level of knowledge sharing, and you have the certification, and you would have passed the exam before even getting the certification. Sure. But they know that many people get into our own university just to pass the exam, not really for the competitive advantage or opportunities that you have in the global market. So I feel that, it's not going to be a bad idea if we have a curriculum around skills acquisition, around digital knowledge that would help people understand how you can even use digital to sell that skills that you are learning. For instance, you see someone who is into bag making, extremely good in bag making, but don't know how to sell that bag in a global community. Only sell to a local community. Yes, the person is in business, but the person can scale more, can make more money. But the person is just limited to the knowledge that he or she has within the local community. So how does that person use that same bag or that same items or products to sell in a global community that you have a payment gateway like Paystack, Flutterways infused into a platform called your website, you get into communities or forums, you get into social media platforms to run a campaign to make sure that the same thing you are doing in a local market, you are getting it out there and you're doing a lot of exportations and people are paying you in foreign currency as against your local currency. So it's just beyond just acquiring the skills. We're saying acquire the skills, but understand the trend in the marketplace. Understand who you need to collaborate with. Understand how you're going to create your campaign. Understand certain team members you have to put together. It's even difficult now that there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs, but we don't have the right person to fit in that job. Why? Because they don't have the required skills to help their organization to move to the next level. So we have jobs, not that the jobs are not there, but we don't have the right people who have the required skills to get access to that opportunity in those organizations. You know,
we have to go quickly, Samson. But before then, let's quickly touch at the Digital Digest Africa conference that was held on Friday. You were looking at the conversation around harnessing digital collaborations, yes, for growth. Yeah. Bring us up to speed. What exactly was the fulcrum of that conversation and what were the resolutions?
So because we realize that there's a lot of challenges in our country and in many African countries because we're still growing. I mean, a lot of structures are put in place in the developed country. You can literally get into a bank, you get access to loan, you can scale up your business. We don't have all of that here, right? So we realize that many things that has helped many of us to grow in the entire part of the different industry we're talking about is the fact that we are able to understand how to use the knowledge to create the value that we're looking for. So we needed to create Knowledge Digest Africa platform, which is Africa's #1 digital knowledge platform, where you have access to mentorship. You know, so we have spoken to people in different industry who has at least minimum of 10 years knowledge. They are successful, they've built institute, they have employed people, and they were saying, can you just be a mentor? Why can't you just help people grow? You know, some people want to get into the tech, want to get into the educational sector. You have been there. Can you make people not afford to make the same mistakes, but guide them through the process? But they don't need to see you one-on-one. There's a platform where you can guide people through. So there's a part on that platform that has to do with the mentorship. There's a part on that platform that has to do with masterclass, which means that I can literally get online at any time of the day, get on that platform, watch videos and series teaching of different aspects within my own sector, whatever sector you're thinking about. And then you have the aspect of marketplace. So we say Knowledge Digest Africa platform is where you learn, you practice what you have learned, but you now sell again on that same platform. So the marketplace means I've learned how to do something, I've put a product together, and I'm coming on that same platform under the marketplace to sell to as many people because people can pay in different parts of the world on that platform. So there's a part of masterclass, there's a part of meetup. Meetup means that we are creating a very robust community of people within the African countries. That means we're taking this conference to all over the 54 African countries we have. So what that means is that I can do business with someone in Ghana, I can have a collaboration with anyone within the African space or even beyond. What that means is that you're not limited to what you're supposed to do. So Knowledge Digest Africa is simply a platform we had to launch to see many people connect to one another. We have a lot of skills sharing that would happen on just one single platform.
Fantastic, Samuel. Samson Olatunde, CEO, Knowledge Digest Africa. Thank you for your time and thoughts on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to doing greater things with you in the future.
I'll be glad. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. That is where we say thank you for staying with us on the show. It's been fantastic discussing knowledge sharing with Samson Olatunde, and that's our show. We'll do this again next time. Thanks for joining us. I am David Babudike. Do enjoy the rest of the day, and bye for now.